Oh, get this penis off my knee. It hurts. I get in a lot of trouble.
It's so heavy.
I got this 10-inch slong right on my kneecap. I can't go anywhere without all the women chasing me down the street.
I'm glad I'm recording. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Please Select Your Podcast, an informative podcast where we help you let's play and enjoy it. Today, we are joined with Piff,
Hello.
Squee913,
Yay!
and Inferno,
Hello, everyone.
and of course me, Kriana. But you knew that already, of course you did. Alright, so the first topic is monetization. Someone
Yes.
go.
Monetization is
No, not again.
money getting with advertisements on videos.
Hey!
I think it's a broader term than that. Monetization is just anytime you get money, right? I mean, the word's not very specific.
Okay, I think for the sake of this podcast,
I got monetization last Friday. Tell you what.
A lot of people who have started Let's Playing a little bit after they get into it, they'll see this little blue bar message when you upload, and YouTube is like, you can monetize your video and make all sorts of money. And people get this idea that they're like, oh, I can turn this into a career on YouTube. But first of all, you have to there's two things you have to consider. Let's Playing, although it is under the fair use clause for the sake of education, review purposes, or whatnot, that also depends on the fact that you're not actually making money off of, footage of a video game. So once you start monetizing, once you start making advertising profits from it, then you might get a little bit tricky when your videos start to get flagged and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's actually a lot better for people that just do like their own podcast or look at me put on makeup or sing.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
it's just like a video update of just you on your webcam, you can monetize the crap out of that, and you won't have to worry about. And the second problem is that you're not actually going to make all that much money. Advertisers go to YouTube. YouTube takes enormous percentage out of it, and you will make cents, like just pennies and maybe a few dollars after of a month worth of views, unless you're like a big heavy hitter. And most Lpers aren't. They can't generate that many viewers because Let's Playing is still a big niche in the internet today. It's a small niche in the internet today, that is. Anyone else?
Speaking of pennies, what kind of money do you have up in Canada? Because I know I had to exchange a bit. up there.
Loonies! I love it. Loonies and toonies.
Yeah.
That's not
awesome.
true, is it?
Yeah, it is. You still know about
Totally
Canadian
true.
money?
That's such a silly name.
Hey, okay, it's called the Looney because there's a picture of the Queen on it. No, just kidding. There's a picture of a loon on it. No, seriously.
It's like it sounds like something out of a cartoon.
I love
No,
it.
just-
yeah, it's
okay.
like Merry Melodies. I have loonies and
Oh
toonies.
God! Let me defend my country. Okay, so we had $1 bills and $2 bills, but the problem is with that is that the money gets exchanged so much that the bills start to wear down, deteriorate, and they have to be replaced. So they've been replaced with coins, which has a lot more durability. So when the first $1 coin came out, I don't know even when it came out, in the 80s, I don't know, I wasn't even born, but there was a picture, there's always a picture on your coin, like on one side, it's typically a royal member, the queen or whatever, and on the other side is a native animal to Canada, so like a beaver's on the nickel, and, a moose is on a quarter, and that sort of thing. And so they had a loon, like Canada geese or loons, right? And so people just started, it was never officially like everyone's going to call these things loonies. But just as people started to use them, it was like a funny nickname that turned into like everyone just starts calling them loonies.
That's endearing.
And then in the mid-90s, I remember this now, they did the same thing for the $2 coin, and on them is, once again, a picture of the queen, and then polar bears. Well, they didn't call them berries. That'd be silly.
I love berries.
So there was a big thing, like, what should we call these things? And people wanted to call them, like, doubloons, which is really stupid. And they settled on Toonie because it rhymed with loony, which everyone was already familiar with. So yeah, it's silly, but
I
I'm
love it.
proud to have loonies and toonies.
I wish my country did that.
You need
I wish
to
we had
tell
the
you-
ABs. You know, for the $5 bill, just call them the ABs
The
Yeah,
80s.
good.
for Abraham.
See, this podcast is great because not only do you learn about Let's Playing, you learn about Canada.
Hooray!
Or no.
Yes.
You need to tell Canada if they're ever going to make another coin to put a Wawa on the back of it.
Okay, what's a Wawa?
It's a Canadian goose.
Is it? I didn't know that. Well, maybe that's what you Americans call Canadian geese. I don't know.
Wawa.
All I think is funny is that I'm technically the minority, like, ethnic foreign person on this podcast, which shows you how sad this is. Anyways, should we continue to talk about Canada, or should we talk
No,
about...
I think
we're
we
done with
should
Canada
talk
for now.
about.
Me off. Oh gosh, you know what? It's trying to keep me down because I was talking about how I was going to make ABs a thing now. I was going to like spread it. And
Oh, the
Skype's
government's
like, no,
listening.
Skype's holding the man down.
Oh man.
Ah,
We could, hey, maybe we can have a Canadian corner segment of the Let's Play of the podcast.
Look-
I'll
look-
get,
talk about
like some
Canada.
music.
Yeah, you need your own jingle for that.
Done. All right. Anyway, continuing on.
All right, so the next topic is strong language in video games. Cursing during Let's Playing. For
it's
one
much
thing.
better than weak language during video games. Ha ha.
I don't get it.
I kid.
But
Do you guys curse a lot during your Let's Plays?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All the time, like a drunken sailor.
you don't, Squee. Actually, that's the thing.
I swear quite a bit just because it's kind of in my language, and especially just around friends. I get very loose, and I probably, how would I put it, over the top when they're around. So a few words that are cursing does fly around.
Do you do anything like severely that might offend someone? Like those.
Oh yeah.
Oh. All right. So you go all the way.
Well, not all the way.
All the way? Not all the way.
Maybe
Okay.
third base.
It's kind of like dipping my toe in the pool just to see how the temperature is.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where this conversation is going.
I don't know either.
Cursing, swearing.
I need an adult. Okay. What about you, Inferno?
Well, for me, I do swear from time to time. I don't want to try and make a habit of it because although I believe in, that, most of my audience is mature and, swear language, cursing isn't, a horrible thing. You'll see worse in movies. One, I don't like to make it a habit. And there's a big difference between, like, say, a 14 or 15-year-old raging while he plays Call of Duty Black Ops, and he's just swearing like a storm, like just this complete stream of expletives, and me playing, say, a horror game and being scared, and I'm like, oh, shit, something like that. I think that there's a context to it that is more understandable. And I do try to limit the swearing because although I like to think that everyone who's watching my Let's Plays is around my age, typically they're much, much younger, in their teens and that sort of thing. So it's not so much that I'm so haughty to think that I have to be a role model, but just understanding your audience is probably a good idea in general.
All right.
Yeah.
Squee?
I can take this one. Squee kind of curses like he has Tourette's.
I don't think I've ever said this before, but when I was in the army, I used to curse all the time. But it's
Really?
kind of like,
Wow.
it's kind of like the atmosphere. Everyone does it, and you just kind of pick it up. And when I used to go home and visit my family, it was so difficult to curb it.
God.
You're sitting at the dinner table, going, "Can you pass me the fun mashed potatoes, please?"
Hey, Grandma, you bitch. How are you doing?
And no, eventually I kind of kicked the habit. I actually don't curse a lot in Let's Plays, not because I have an aversion to it or I don't think it can't be, a part of it, as long as, like you guys said, as long as it's not every third word. But the thing is, I feel it's much more effective for the audience if it's used very sparingly. If I cuss, something happened. Either something really great or something really bad. Because, and I've said this before, there are some situations when playing a game where it's just like, well, fuck me,
Yeah.
And when you save it for those times, it helps people go, oh, okay, so this is bad. I see now. Whereas if you use it all the time, it loses its effectiveness. If you're a person who uses cuss words over and over again, people don't even pay attention to them anymore. And I like the idea that if I cuss, everyone stands up and goes, "Oh my God, he just cussed." So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Kriana?
Well, lately I've been trying to tone it down. I don't think I normally cuss a lot during my Let's Plays. I think my only problem is if I tend to be in the moment a lot during the Let's Plays, so I'll start, if something happens, I'll react to it right away, and most of the time my reaction is, oh god damn it, or fuck, or shit, that kind of thing. But I actually had this happen to me real recently when I was playing Zelda. I got really pissed off at that game, and it was, I cut out a lot of it, but a lot of it was just me swearing up a storm because I couldn't figure it out. So, I mean, I watch it, but, it happens. People need to fucking deal with it.
I just had a thought, and this kind of dovetails into it. There's a big, when it comes to game reviews on the internet, there's a big push, there has been for the past 5 years, of the angry reviewer, movement.
Yeah.
Where there's these guys, they just rage against these games, and they come up with all sorts of colorful ways to say something offensive. And that's kind of where the humor lies in. And I think, as a Let's Player, it depends on your style, but swearing in the moment as a part of your normal speech is one thing, but swearing for the sake of trying to be funny might not be as successful as you think.
Well, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that just kind of reminded me of it, and something that you might want to just be mindful of. Yeah.
All right, does anyone have anything else to add, or shall we go on to the next point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's keep her going.
Okay.
So fucking done with this topic.
I can't believe, the problem is I realize why we're more focused is because we tried doing this once before.
I know. I'm like, we all know the answers already. That was my fault. Yeah, well, okay.
Actually, I very skillfully forgot it all.
Really? That's
Yeah.
good. That's
It's going back to
on
me.
purpose. Completely.
that's good.
Totally on purpose.
Okay. All right. The next topic is let's playing video games with heavy mature content.
Ooh, deep. Well, since this is YouTube and there's much more mature content on here that anyone can watch at any time that doesn't even have video games in it. Oh my gosh, there's some messed up stuff in here. But it's if you add it there, what I don't understand, if you're saying block nudity, that's kind of what YouTube already says, do not have nudity.
Yeah.
They're really bad at
If you're
following
blocking
that rule.
violence, YouTube actually does have a clause for violence for having too much violence, and that's very lenient on their part. If you have somebody physically beating somebody in real life, they'll take that video down.
Mm-hmm.
But you can blow a zombie's face off, and it's no big deal.
Right. Because it's not real.
Yeah, it's not real.
And it's not something particularly hateful. It's more of you can justify that, even with the ones in Saints Row. You could say that's so cartoony that it can't be real.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think YouTube already has a pretty strict content maturity thing, and
So should that be the standard?
I'm not saying violence should be the standard. I'm just saying like you have a wide variety of what you can do in Let's Plays, and I don't see either a way to restrict it or a need to.
Fair enough. Squee?
I I hate to take a blunt stance with this, but I'm not their parents, so I don't really feel any desire beyond a reasonable amount to moderate what I do and what I don't. I don't like go for shock value. You know, like I'm not gonna stream something just because, oh my god, look at the blood, guts, and gore. But if I want to one day, you know, stream Grand Theft Auto 4 where I, you know, run over people on the sidewalk because that's where cars should be. I don't really feel like it's my responsibility to police our youth. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to go on there and advocate, you know, like child abuse or anything really horrible like that. But games are meant to have fun, and they're definitely not meant to be taken seriously. And if your child is not mentally stable enough to be able to tell the difference, that is your responsibility, not mine. Mm-hmm. I think that YouTube. Now, on the other hand, I think that YouTube, like for example, if YouTube sets a limit and says no nudity, you need to be responsible and follow that or accept the consequences. I know that there was one Let's Player who's rather famous. He got really bent out of shape because he got a strike against his account because he put up nudity from a game, and he thought it was okay because it was artistic. And I'm like, but there's no nudity allowed. So what did you think was going to happen? You know, I think that you need to be responsible and follow the guidelines placed for you, but I don't think it's your responsibility to go, oh, I should only do Pokemon because little kids might watch this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that kind of dovetails into what I'm saying. Even though you want to be mindful of your audience, the thing that we've been saying for the past, 3 other episodes is do what you're comfortable with. Play the games that you want to play and that sort of thing. So if you want to play, some very violent video games, then that's great. And then you'll attract the audience that also appreciates those games. So 8-year-olds, due to, parental monitoring of what they're watching, or the fact that they'd rather play Pokemon than Dead Island or something like that, you don't really have to worry about it so much. So don't feel like you should censor yourself. That kind of seems contrary to what I said of being mindful of your audience, but that was more, I don't know, how you present yourself, not the games that you're actually playing. Although I do want to say it is kind of odd that it's a big cultural phenomenon. It's very similar in movies as well. That you could do something horribly violent to another person, which involves the ending of their life, in a video game, in a fantasy video game. But if you show the slip of a nipple, it's 100 times worse. And I find that a really strange priority. I'm not advocating pornography or anything like that. But say in a game like L.A. Noire, where the context is obviously not sexual whatsoever, it's kind of funny how the priorities are in.
It's
America.
also important to know that considering that we have an international audience, that also differs based on what country. And for example, Europe, I know it's much more the opposite. They don't care about nudity. Hell, when I went to Germany, there were pictures of boobs on billboards, on highways. You would never see that in America. But they are really bad on violence. So it's almost the exact opposite. You could watch TV and see nudity, but you would never see someone blow someone's head off. So it just depends on the country's social faux pas.
Cultural context, yeah.
Well, that also reminds me of, I think I've told you this before, but when I was on Twitch TV and I was broadcasting LA Noire, and I had no idea that there was any nudity, but I lost my train of thought. No, but then it popped up, and I turned off the stream right away. But apparently, you can stream nudity on Twitch TV as long as it's not sexual. I don't know. I just thought that was sort of odd.
Yeah, you just have to be, you have to just be well aware of the posting laws, whatever video site that you use or streaming site that you use. Just be well aware of it, so that way if you do get flagged, you can't play the ignorance card because that's never going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Okay, so let's go to scheduling your Let's Plays. What do you guys do?
What's
Well-
that word mean?
Okay. It means to. Oh, all right.
I was gonna say, let's go with the person who actually schedules Let's Plays.
There's one here, yes, I believe. We actually found one.
Who's that? Me?
Found one in far-off reaches and far-off lands.
We actually we had to hire Bear Grylls.
What? No, I like scheduling the LPs. Now, there's a problem with it though, which is you start making it a job instead of a hobby. A lot of Let's Players want to do things like just off the cuff, like when they play the game when they feel like it, they upload it when they feel like it, or they have the time, and that's it. But I did that for a while, and it was fine. But I'm just the type of personality that I like something where I'll be like, yeah, I'm doing it this time and this time and this time, and that way the people who do watch my videos, they'll know what to expect. They'll stop bugging me and saying, when are you going to play more of this? It's on the schedule, so that is a big problem dealt with, and it also motivates me to keep on doing it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm less likely to slack off. Like I said, it's not a job, but sometimes even with hobbies or when you do something interactive with other people, it's really easy to procrastinate.
Yeah.
And it just prevents me from. I still procrastinate from time to time, but it at least helps that, and that's why I do it. It's not great for everybody. It can actually turn people off from playing altogether if that's not your cup of tea. But it works for me.
Yeah, I'm not at all like that. I'm like the exact opposite. I like I said, I'm like in the moment type of person. So if I don't really feel like playing a game, then I don't want to Let's Play it, because I feel like, if I'm not having a good time, they probably won't enjoy it. No, I mean, it's a good idea, but I could never like stick to it.
Mm-hmm. Well, to kind of combat that thing, I mean, the really nice thing of having a hard drive and like an external hard drive for Lping is that, like, I'm sure at one point a week, I'm going to want to play a game, right? I'll be in the mood to play a game at least one point in the week, and I'll play it for like a couple hours. Well, you put those into like 20-hour segments, that's like 6 episodes, right? And if you have in your schedule, I'm only going to do 1 episode of this game a week, upload that a week, that's like 6 weeks you're already set for. So the way I kind of deal with that problem, Kriana, I'm not saying I'm right or anything like that, but that's a big no. But for people who are like, oh yeah, Mr. Scheduler right over here, like, why do you do this? Well, you can kind of just ration out your episodes, and then you don't have to worry about fatigue as poorly. But anyways, I've been talking a lot. Piff, Sweet, please stop me.
I have no real schedule. The only closest semblance to a schedule I had now, and of course I am currently kind of on a break simply because I don't have the upload ability at the moment. So I have like 8 hours of video and no way to get it uploaded. But generally what I tried to do was make about equal portions to every Let's Play. Like if I'm doing 3 Let's Plays and I'm basically devoting maybe 9 hours a week, try and make sure 3 hours goes to each one. That was really the extent of my scheduling. I never really had a certain day to upload, a certain time to upload.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we lost Squee.
I was gonna say that was a dramatic pause right there.
And he'll come back. He'll come back.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess I'll just pick up I can just talk about mine.
Go ahead.
Alright, my My stuff is terrible because all of my Let's Plays are with other people, and usually with more than one person, and I have to match up everyone's schedule. And I always feel terrible about bothering everybody to like, hey, when's the next time you're going to do this again, huh?
So
Yeah,
you're
I'm back.
Oh, good. All right, Squee.
Welcome back.
Sorry, just so we don't lose what Piff said real quick. So Piff, you like scheduling in a sense to get people together so you can record a Let's Play, but the essence of doing that completely makes an upload schedule impossible, absolutely impossible.
Basically, because
Yeah.
sometimes some people can't make it. I usually try to have plans to get around that, but just sometimes everyone's just down at the same time.
Yeah.
Or I'm still working with the software and hardware problems that arise with either trying something new or adding something special to my videos, which might take weeks. Because there's one where I had to learn so many different things, and I like put in visual and audio things in a video. And it took me forever to make that video. Absolutely forever, but at least I feel good about it, I guess.
You got that.
I got that. Oh yeah, also the editing process right after that. So it
Yeah.
also takes a while for me to make these. All the steps are lengthened because I do post commentary, so I play it, then I have to rewatch it, make sure it's good, edit it before giving it out to people, then get the audio in there, edit that together, see if I need to edit anything else in there, and then make it into a video again, and then post it.
That is a lot more work than I put into my own
Me
Let's
too.
Plays.
I press the record button and then
And I
stop.
talk, and I play, and I hit the stop button, and I put it on YouTube's, and that's it.
We're not as thorough as you, Piff.
No.
Squee, before you disconnect, anything else you want to add?
No, basically that like I do have a try to get a certain amount up each week, but that's the closest I come to. It eventually the viewers get used to the fact that there's no real rhyme or reason to it, and I really love the freedom, but there's something to be said for having some sort of semblance of order.
Yeah. I guess the big thing is don't bite off more than you can chew.
Yeah.
That's
I'm biting off a lot, but I can chew it.
that's good.
Yeah, I've had that happen before where I get really into a game and then I hit record and then I'm recording and then all of a sudden I take a look at it and I have to I have to do some editing and then it's just like it becomes a deterrent. Like I don't want to mess with it and it gets put off even longer. So I guess there is the downfall of that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Also, don't get me wrong. I do procrastinate.
Yeah.
He says in a monotone voice. Don't get me wrong.
I stream. I still play video games.
Yeah.
I still have the social life outside of that too. But yeah.
All right. So moving on, unless anyone wants to add anything. All right. To chewing/eating food or drinking while Let's Playing.
Well, that's some good times right there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's great. I love listening to someone chew in my ear.
That
It's
was
awesome.
That kind of happened today with the belching incident, Inferno.
Yeah, it did. I kind of went off on someone. All right. Well, this is the thing. All right. Oh man, no, someone else talked for a while. I feel like I'm completely monopolizing everything.
Well, someone, while we were talking on Skype today, let out a rather large belch, and Inferno made this really disgusted noise. And the person felt that they didn't have to withhold bodily functions because it's more painful for them to keep it in. And Inferno disagreed and said, Inferno, you want to talk, don't you?
Oh, I'm so angry.
Wow. Yeah, let's not inconvenience ourselves whatsoever for the common decency of the public.
Well, yeah.
I have to say, and
Preach
maybe
on, Squee.
maybe I'm a bit limited on this, but I think that 90% of the people out there don't want to hear that. And while you're not forced to, I mean, you can have whatever opinion you want. There's etiquette. There's once in a while when you're doing hundreds of hours of recording over a couple of years, you're gonna burp. You're gonna make weird noises, and sometimes you can't help it. I mean, right? There's some like sneezes and burps that come out of nowhere. You had no idea they were there. But if you know they're coming, put a hand over the mic, stop recording, do something.
Mute button, anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's so 90. Like, I guess I don't mind it that much, but the simple fact that I know there's so many people out there that would just be like, oh,
Yeah.
it just screams rude to me.
Yeah.
See, I'm talented. I can mask my burp as a hiccup.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
So if I can't hide it, then it's a hiccup, and everyone's like, "Oh, that was a random hiccup," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know, weird, right?"
Yeah.
Actually, I think hiccups are the worst. So no,
They're
I never
so
mentioned that,
disgusting.
but yeah, hiccups are horrible.
Totally.
People who hiccup should be burned.
I got 3 in my backyard.
Now, I do recall when we tried this the first time around, the consensus is that drinking, as long as you do it discreetly and without like a lot of smacking or whatnot, since you're doing an LP commentary and you're talking quite a bit, drinking might be seen as, a little bit more permissible than chewing or like eating food, because you have no reason to be like mowing down on a carrot while doing a let's play. Like it just makes no sense. Like eat and then record. Like unless you're like Steve Jobs. Oh wait, no, not Steve Jobs. He's dead. Bill Gates or someone who's like super busy all the time that you can't take 5 minutes to eat your food. Then
Yep.
Yeah. So really don't do it. If it comes down to it that you just have to eat something, then pause the recording and take a food break. There's nothing wrong with that.
exactly.
Right. Now, and people are very forgiving. Like I think I would hazard a guess that every single one of us here has eaten something without thinking about it.
Oh yeah.
And then like 4 minutes later, you're like, oh crap, I'm still recording. I just ate like Doritos or something. I'm sure it's happened at some point. Accidents like that, don't like beat yourself up over it. Just kind of try
Don't
to
kill
be.
yourself.
But drinks, as far as I'm concerned, drinks are, especially for me, they're necessary. If I'm talking for hours, I need something to wet my throat. So, that's something that you just kind of, you don't like make the whole sound, but yeah, I think drinks are okay.
Yeah.
Now, what do you guys feel about like if someone was streaming and eating or drinking?
I've done that because I say like, hey folks, I need to stop and eat and drink for a little while. I can either stop the stream and come back in like half an hour, or I can like do a little Q&A with you or chat with you or hang out with you, but you're going to hear me eating. And then I just take a consensus, and if people, most of the time, they're just like, yeah, just chill out and talk with us, no big deal. But streaming is a little bit different, but not by much, in my opinion. You should still show some discretion, but that's just me.
I think that when it comes to streaming, I think there's a lot more like lenience to be have to drinking at least.
Oh yeah.
Because of the whole
Live
parched,
thing.
needing it to live is another part.
I guess you need.
I go exactly Inferno's route. I go, because there's some times where I'm in the middle of a stream and like you're just so incredibly hungry that you basically go, guys, like I'm gonna eat. That's not the option. I'm gonna eat.
Yeah.
The option is, do you want me to stop the stream for a while or just like flip my mic up and then hang with you guys? And most of the time people, I mean, they'll let you know one way or the other.
Yeah.
So.
Well, most of the time I mean, from what I've seen, we'll just talk. They like the talking bit because, conversations are nice
Yeah, they are.
most of the time.
Piff, your thoughts?
Well, I guess I should go on what I've seen on my stream. I will eat with my mic down and completely not muted and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, this is like, guys, I need to go eat, and then like I stopped asking this because I would always get the same answer. It's like, do you guys want to? Should I stop, or do you guys mind me eating in your ear? And everyone's like, yeah, I don't mind. As long as you're talking to us, we don't really mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I always flip my mic up if I'm not talking and just chewing in people's ears.
Yeah.
There's like no reason for that.
Mm.
Right. I mean, they can still hear you. You just sound kind of, you sound farther away. That's it.
Squee!
bad.
Squee! Oh, God. Okay.
Where'd he go? He's gone.
I was there. I'm back.
Okay.
I ran.
thank goodness.
I literally in that distance ran to the other side of the room. And
Wow.
then back.
That was quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Amazing.
I tell you,
Bruno.
Must be
You're
very smart.
amazing.
we are so lame.
We're the coolest kids in the internet. I was gonna say in the school, but I'm like, no. All of us are beyond high school now. Some of us more years than others.
I
Anywho,
go to high school.
carrying on.
All right, so that moves into the whole etiquette with streaming. Inferno, did you want to talk about this? Because
Sure.
it seemed like you were passionate about it.
I am. I'm a very passionate man.
Gross.
Okay, so this first of all, big disclaimer. This is just Inferno's opinions, and my opinions do not reflect the opinions of anyone else. So we'll just do that. I believe that when, say for example, I'm streaming, and I want to have like a guest on, someone to commentate with me. Typically, I like to only do that either when I really know. I think we dropped Squee again, didn't we? I think we did. He'll come back. Anyway,
Yeah, it's gone.
typically only if I'm playing a game with them in the game. That's great. I mean, that's completely applicable. Or if they're commentator, there's someone who will be, watching the stream for the most part, or that sort of thing. Now, I've been fortunate enough to be on Piff streams, and Piff is one of the most open people out there, where he streams for long periods of time, and he enjoys conversation with people. And the conversation doesn't always have to be exactly, what he's doing all the time. He doesn't expect people to be, like, glued to the screen looking at every single, millisecond of him playing the game. However, sometimes you go off and you do something else. You surf the internet, you play your own game, and that sort of thing. But if you're still a guest on someone's stream, it is of my opinion that you're still a guest, and you shouldn't be talking about something that you're doing that's completely removed from what the streamer's doing. Because one, that's confusing for the audience, and two, I find it disrespectful for the person who has invited you onto their stream.
Yes.
And that's pretty much it. That's all I really need to say about that.
I agree with you on that one, but Piff, you kind of seem to have a little bit more difference with it.
I have just more leniency. I completely agree with pretty much everything he says. Just I don't care that much to actually just kind of halt people from doing that.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
If I start doing that, no one's going to be like wanting to go on my stream. It's not like laid back anymore. There's too many rules set in place.
I don't think it. See, I just don't think that's asking too much from someone to be like, don't, because as a viewer, it gets really annoying to see, like, you're trying to enjoy the stream. You are watching the person for a reason. You want them to play that game. And then someone goes off on a tangent about the game they're playing. And, making little comments here and there, I don't mind so much. But when it's, like, a discussion that lasts for, like, 20 minutes, it's really bothersome.
Yeah, you can see that.
I guess I'm kind of with Piff on that. Like, I'm very lenient because to me, streams are more about having a good time. It's like, to me, streams have always seemed more like me and the viewers in the chat room are all sitting down in a living room, shooting a breeze, playing a game. I mean, that's what I've always imagined it as, except for Dragon Ball Z League, but that's something completely different. So if I have like 2 or 3 callers on and they go off on some topic that has nothing to do with the game, as long as it's a fun topic and we're having a good time with it, I have no problems whatsoever. I mean, I think that I'll consistently me and the people in the stream spend 30 minutes talking about something that has nothing to do with whatever I'm playing, but we're all laughing and we're all having a good time.
There's a thing. There's the operative word, though, is we, which means they're still engaging you.
Yeah.
They're still talking and discussing with you. They're not just going off on their own thing, speaking out loud like they're doing their own commentary.
Part of that is just because I would never stay silent enough for that to ever happen.
Oh? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm too much of an attention whore, I guess.
I don't know. I feel it's... I don't know. I don't agree, but I can understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I just want to make it clear. I'm not draconian. That is like you must always talk about this game.
No, but I think
you
it's
digress and you talk about ridiculous things. That's cool. But I always think it's important to keep the focus on the person that's streaming because it's their stream. For crying out loud. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned that way.
Well, and a lot of times the stuff that just bothers me is like someone saying, "Oh, I'm being attacked. Oh no, I got stabbed again," and blah blah blah. Oh, this is happening, and they're being chased, and blah blah blah. Blah, just stuff that's going on their end. It's just really frustrating.
Yeah, just does nothing for you.
Exactly.
Anywho, oh my
Giggle.
goodness! Please select your podcast has like divisions. This is like the Civil War.
I know. This is usually we all agree, but now we're divided. I don't know if I can look at Piff and Squee the same way ever again.
I like cupcakes too.
Oh wait, Piff. Piff doesn't like cupcakes.
Nope.
Shun the unbeliever.
What?
Hang up on Piff.
I am going to go buy a horse just so I can ride you down in a cavalry charge, sir.
Wow, that's...
Where are you going to find a cavalry?
I don't know, but I'm going to do it really fast before I have to buy food for the horse, too, because that can get expensive.
That brings up a very good point, Squee. Protect IP Act.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I'm so glad I could provide such an adequate segue.
What is the Protect IP Act?
I just didn't want to say anything.
It's an act where it protects the IP.
I was waiting for that.
I know exactly. I was like, he did it last time.
Yeah.
There, you got your monkey dance. Now go talk about your whatever.
Again, we are so lame.
Poor Piff. He's like that famous like television character who's known for saying like a certain line over and over again. We're just like, come on, Piff, say the line.
Oh
Anyway.
God.
Hey guys, I'm not laughing, but I'm dying over here. My face is plush red.
Plush.
Plush. Oh my. So, Squee or Kriana, do you want to outline the basics of what the Protect IP Act, is about?
Well, I could, but I don't think I could word it really well.
Okay.
I don't know the details. I just know the general.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah.
Enlighten us, Inferno.
Oh no! All right.
Yeah,
All right, gather around, children.
Play the Uncle Inferno.
Actually, the funny thing is now, when we first did this, when we first talked about these talking points nearly a month ago, this is a really big thing, but things have calmed down a little bit on the internet.
Yeah.
About regardless, because they're realizing that this thing isn't actually going to be passed because it was ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But all in all, the idea is that it was a way to monitor internet content coming in and out of the United States. Now, it wasn't complete censorship, but it would allow you to block, it would allow the government or companies to block the IP of people who would offend either due to like terrorism reasons or, more likely, piracy concerns. So, for example, some say European nation in Switzerland, there's some hacker that is streaming, I don't know, All in the Family reruns, and people
No.
from the United States would be able to connect to that server and watch these All in the Family reruns. Well, that's copyrighted protected material, and then this IP Act would allow them to sever that connection and prevent, an illegal thing from happening. And the big concern about this was how loosely it was defined, how loosely piracy or terrorism was defined. So any sort of content, whether it was original content from Lpers or something, or parody content from other people, they were concerned that the internet police were going to come and censor all of our material, limit free speech, and the whole big deal. And we were talked last week about how, although it is a concern, censorship is always a concern, that there was this big internet panic wasn't really going to amount to anything because something so drastic probably wouldn't be passed. And it wasn't. So, yeah.
Well, and I mentioned this too, where, stuff like this has been happening for years, and it just got a lot of publicity this time.
Yeah. The thing, and I believe Squee, I remember you mentioned last time as well, is that it's ridiculous because big companies that depend on multimedia content, like YouTube, they wouldn't just lay back and just say, yeah, sure, put us out of business. They have business interests as well. So
yeah. I always wonder why everyone was making such a huge deal, like the whole doom and gloom crowd, like this is the end of Let's Plays everywhere. And it's like, really? You think YouTube and Facebook and all the companies that would be completely shut down that make literally trillions of dollars a year are just going to sit back and go, yeah, we have representatives in the government, but I don't think we need to use them.
Yeah.
No, it's something like that. Something that, as excessive as everyone was saying it was going to be, would never pass because there's too much money in it, and governments all revolve around money.
Yep.
You do. Money makes the world go round.
It doesn't, actually. Gravity really is what makes the world go round.
I thought it was the moon.
No. The moon goes around the world, Kriana.
It does?
Yes.
When did this happen?
Oh, dear Lord. Okay, see, here's what happens.
No. We don't need
This is what we call
corner.
a geosynchronous orbit.
That sounds like a Pokemon, Squee.
Gazoon type. All right, shall we go to our viewer questions?
Yes. These are old viewer questions. Piff, would you like to read them? You made an ooh sound.
What are your thoughts on doing
Emulator. Emulator. Emulator.
The American school system work.
The rip-off computer version of games LPs.
Now, who asked that?
That was Nightblade. No,
Yes!
wait, Phoenix. Sorry, Phoenix. You asked that. Nightblade asked the next one.
Cool.
So, what do you guys think about piracy and emulating games for Let's Playing purposes?
I guess I'll start with this one.
Sure!
Alright, it kind of, to me, depends on the game, because if it's a new game or a newer game, or like, say, for example, if I wanted to pirate Mass Effect 2, I'm kind of against that, because I really do believe in, besides the fact that, it would probably not work and load my system with viruses or whatnot, but the fact that people put so much time and so much effort into making this game, if you're going to enjoy it, you should at least pay your dues to enjoy it. I really feel that's the case. Now, where I kind of get fuzzy on is, say, for example, if I have my Super Nintendo emulator and I really wanted to play King of the Monsters and I found a ROM for King of the Monsters, I downloaded it. Because, you know what? They're not making any money off that anymore. They're not. Everyone who worked on that project has already made all the money they're going to make, for the most part. So I don't feel as guilty about that. And basically because, I mean, how else are you going to find that game? You might be able to go on eBay and stuff, but I can't do eBay because what if I pay for it and nothing happens, or they send me a box of rabies or something?
A fresh box of rabies.
Oh,
I hate when that happens.
My face. If it's an older style game, or like on one of the holiday stream we did, I was doing a whole bunch of DOS games and all that. I mean, first of all, where are you going to buy those? Secondly, even if you did buy it, who's making the money? Honestly, so those I get a little fuzzier on. I don't really mind that much, but definitely if you're like trying to pirate Assassin's Creed Revelation, come on, man, get a job, pay the game, and show some respect for the people that put the hundreds and hundreds of hours into texturing Ezio's hood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I play devil's advocate for a moment, Squee?
I don't know. Can you?
Oh.
May I?
Yeah.
Would you mind?
Yes. You
I don't think there's a grandfather. At least morally for me, there is no such thing as a grandfather clause when it comes to taking or playing a game that you didn't pay for. Although the company who made, I don't know, some really old game. Well, let's just think like E.T. for the Atari or something like that. Even though that company might not exist, they were probably purchased by another company, or someone is still getting some sort of royalties from it. I am of the philosophy that if I've never owned the game, if I or when I was a child, my parents never paid for the game, then I just don't play it. Now, I do admit, for example, I don't have I used to own Super Mario Brothers 3, but it's gone now. It's gone to my parents' attic or somewhere. I have no idea where it is. So I feel I'm morally okay for, using that game and play that on the emulator. Or if a friend of mine had the game or has the game, and it'd be the same thing as, going over to their house and playing a two-player game. The emulator just allows you to do it on a modern computer device, which is great. But yeah, no, I just Squee disconnected, so he can't defend himself. So screw him.
Well, while he's away, I'll totally just disagree with him, and I'm being serious with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's back. All right.
Yes.
Basically, I'm going to disagree with Squee and Squee.
I'm here.
Okay, I'm going to disagree with you. Just to make sure. Okay. He said that it is okay to do that. I agree with everything, and I just want to add something, a little bit more for the emulator part.
Wait, that's disagreeing with me?
No, hold on. If you really like the game, you're going to be let's playing it. You're putting in all the effort in playing the game and recording it, putting over your voice, and putting it on YouTube. You might want to consider, actually, very strongly would consider buying the actual physical copy of it at whatever the cost.
Well, here's my, and I was going to play devil's advocate to the devil's advocate of Inferno. Here's here's my problem.
We're all over the place.
Let's say I wanted to play King of the Monsters for Super Nintendo. Where am I going to buy it? From who? There's no company out there that still sells that game. The only way I could get it that I know of would be off of eBay, off of some guy that lives in, Winnipeg.
You said that, Squee. You said that.
Right. Okay. But what I'm saying is, who would I buy it from if I wanted to really buy it?
Here's an idea.
Two things.
Go ahead, Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
One, I'm not quite sure about that exact game, but a lot of games have been remade and still being sold.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Especially on like Xbox Live Arcade or that sort of thing,
Even
or
for,
retro game compilations. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, I'm actually asking because I don't know any of these sites, and I don't have a 360, so that's Xbox Live.
Good old games.
Yeah, but Good Old Games doesn't do Super Nintendo. That, as far as I know, it's just computers.
I'm just saying, there's tons of places that sell old games still.
Mm-hmm.
That actually has the rights to and whatnot. So you might want to look that up first. Second, even if it doesn't, you should probably still have the physical game. If you love it that much, not saying you should have it already, but if you like it that much, you should show it by having the actual copy instead of having something that I feel would be false.
I completely agree with you, but then again, it comes to the I don't have a Super Nintendo. I only have a Super Nintendo emulator, so then I would have a cartridge.
I think he's more or less saying like
To
morally.
show the love. Now, and don't get me wrong, I don't think I have ever downloaded a ROM for a game I did not own at one time, because why in the world would I have downloaded if I hadn't at least played it before?
If you didn't know what it was like, yeah.
Right, because I think every ROM I've ever downloaded for, any of my old systems or anything like that, I owned at one point, because I'm not the kind of guy that goes down the list and goes, "Oh, I wonder what that game's like." No, that's not true. I did it once for, Kriana and I played some weird,
God.
trippy monkey game.
Yeah,
but that was like a one-time thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I've actually
wasn't good.
unknowingly followed your saying, because, yeah, I don't download any games I didn't own at one point.
Yeah. I also kind of circumvent the problem by just not playing a lot of emulator games because, in my opinion, retro games are retro for a reason, and a lot of times they kind of suck. And nostalgia, well, not all the time. I mean,
Yeah,
like Super
okay.
Mario Brothers 3 is my favorite of
Fathers.
all time, and others. But for the
Super
most part,
Mario Fathers.
did I
Thank
say
you.
fathers? Did I say
Yes,
brother?
you did.
That was
sounded
after
like
Super Mario
fathers.
Brothers. Anyways,
Anyway,
brothers.
yeah.
It's my thick Canadian accent.
I can barely understand you.
I know. I'm sorry. I don't know. Anyways, I don't want to go off on retro games. I do enjoy some retro games, but really, if I had a choice between playing something newer or older, unless I had that little nostalgia punch, or unless it was a masterpiece of a game, I probably wouldn't play it. Because back in the day, in Nintendo and Super Nintendo, and like even the PlayStation 1, I mean, there are some games that were just churned out, and they were just complete and utter garbage. But
Yeah, I
doesn't mean
gotta
you shouldn't
say
pay for them.
this.
Mhm.
I would like to add something that just for this conversation, going deeper into that.
Mhm.
A while back, like 3 years ago, I was like, you know what I haven't played for a really long time? Super Mario RPG.
Oh God,
I loved that game.
so
That was a
good.
freaking great game when I was a kid. Like, I remember my friends having it. I remember playing it like nonstop, having a great time with it. And I plugged it back in and I played it and beat it, and I was just like, huh. This was a really different experience from when I first played this.
Yeah.
It's not as good as I remembered.
Yeah. I once played GoldenEye at a buddy's place. He still had a Super Nintendo. We're like,
Oh,
yeah,
God.
GoldenEye, I love this. We played it. We're like, these controls suck.
Do you mean an N64?
Oh, it was an N64. Did I say Super Nintendo? I meant N64. But yeah, I mean, it's weird. You forget it, but the advances in game technology are significant. Significant.
That's true.
So yeah. Anywho.
No,
Shall we move on? Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't get to say anything, but that's okay.
Oh yeah, no, Kriana,
it's okay.
I'm sorry. No, you're the host. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. It's fine, Inferno. Yeah. No, well, I don't have a whole lot different
Oh,
views.
after that big
I didn't get to
stink
say
you
anything.
just
I because I
threw.
don't have anything to say.
But I do kind of want to make a point. There were a few times I was tempted to do emulator games of somewhat newer games, only because of they weren't released in America, and I wanted to play it, but the only available one would be from Japan, and there's also the whole
Language.
not language, but like you can't play certain games like on
Oh,
the
the
Wii.
format.
Yeah, it's
PAL
different.
versus
Yeah,
NTSC.
exactly. So I mean, that was the only time I didn't go through with it, because in the end I would still want to purchase the game and just have it, even if I couldn't play it. But that's something that kind of went over my head.
Yeah, like I mean, if there's one thing though, I want to add. There's one other avenue that's kind of a common ground between the two, is an anonymous donation towards the company in question. For example, I'll just use a personal experience, and I'm not going to lie about this. Riff Tracks. Now, this is about video games. This is something else. But Riff
love Riff
Tracks.
Tracks.
For those who aren't familiar, you can just Google it. But it's these very, very funny people who, some of them who were involved in Mystery Science Theater 3000, they take movies and they comment on and that sort of thing. I came across one for The Room, and I didn't know anywhere to buy it, so I downloaded it illegally. And then afterwards, I felt bad about it, and I went on their website and I saw there's a donation option, and I donated some money anonymously, and I felt morally better for having paid for a product, even though it was retroactively. But I felt better, and I felt kind of justified in the sense of doing it. So that's always an option too. So, for example, for Squee, if you could never find this monster fighter game that you what was the name of that game,
King
Squee?
of the Monsters.
The monsters.
It's like a wrestling game with Godzilla. How do you people not
Okay.
know that?
So he can find it online for free, no problem, right? So, but say he's like, you know what, it's worth $5 to me. I mean, that's what they would charge now for it. So he could always just, anonymously donate to the company $5 somehow,
Not opposed to that.
or a charity of their choice. A lot
Right.
of these companies have charities that they sponsor and that sort of thing. So something like that. And that way, you're kind of morally justified that you've, in a way, paid for the product.
Right. I'm not opposed to that. I think that we're all kind of on the same common ground
Yeah.
of, we don't like to steal. And even
No.
when I was very clear that, the only reason why I would consider that okay is because I didn't think that there was a way to get the money into the right hands. Because I don't like stealing. I don't like not giving people credit for something they've done.
Yeah, but just so people know, that doesn't apply to newer games. Don't do that for
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed
Thanks
Revelation.
for the game. Here's a donation of $5.
Thanks for Skyrim.
Exactly. This game was only worth $5 for me. No, that's a really important qualifier. I meant like retro stuff.
Right. Well, I just gotta clarify.
Like so many people out there going, dang it. Oh.
So close to be morally justified. All right, so
Few people are going, oh,
okay.
I'm not supposed to do that.
Nightblade says, I had an idea for a topic. I have noticed several Lpers running charities as they play, and some of them doing gamingthons like Toegoff and Kurtjmac by Squee. So we kind of did a marathon. Well, yeah, a marathon.
It wasn't for charity, but
It wasn't for charity. We wanted to do it for charity. It just we procrastinated too long to actually set something up. That was sort of
that's true.
unfortunate.
That's true.
I hate my internet so much.
Our first charity should be get Squee a better internet connection.
Yeah.
I'm working on that myself. Don't you dare start giving me charity.
He don't need your charity. He don't need
I
it.
would like to say, Kriana, most of our time was put into that freaking Minecraft world.
That was yeah. Oh god. Yeah.
So much time.
Oh my gosh. Hey, no, never mind. Something for off recording.
Right.
for later.
Yes, for later.
But yeah, no. So sorry, I just want to scroll up to his question. So he's just wondering if we were interested in doing it, or just our opinions on Lping for charity.
I guess so.
Okay.
I think that's great.
Well, both.
If
Yeah.
you can LP for charity,
Mhm.
I mean that would be amazing.
Yeah. I would almost be willing to do another 24-hour non-stop stream for a charity because I mean, I don't have a ton of money. And if there's something that I can do to kind of, or me or a community of people can do to, turn our hobby into something that helps others, even in a very small way, is something that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. Anyone
Sweet.
else?
No, I pretty much mirror your sentiments.
I want to play devil's advocate. Charity sucks. Sharing is bullshit.
I think charity is a lesser form of business.
Oh god.
I hate charity. I saw that guy out in the store today with his little bell and his saxophone. I kicked him in the shin.
He said he was
And-
blind, but I didn't believe him.
And then I put a quarter in his bucket because I felt bad.
I don't-
Your music is worth a
Got a
quarter.
ringing a fucking bell in my ear.
oh, God.
Actually, this guy had a saxophone. I was somewhat impressed. I was like, wow, really? Saxophone. Huh.
I've seen a saxophone Saxophone?
Wow. I have not. You must be
Is that like
very
an ice
lucky.
cream
It's a Wisconsin thing. Yeah, the saxophones.
I think the Super
scones?
Mario fathers were eating
Scones.
that.
Scones.
Okay, so if no one has anything else to add, I believe that's it.
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm done. Piff? Squee?
I'm good.
Piff?
Nope. That's it for me.
Alright, well, thank you guys for listening, and if you have your own questions, feel free to PM me on my YouTube account. But yes, we will see you guys next time. Bye!
Bye.